I'm never really ready.
See, that's
Are you
the
gonna do your
point.
dumb intro again?
What dumb intro?
It's Awesome Gamer 51. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do that because this is the podcast, not Awesome Gamer 51.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But that's the point. You're never ready. I always want to catch you off guard.
Well, then why are you asking if I'm ready instead of just starting it?
Well, because I don't want you to start jumping into something when I start recording. Like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna watch this video real quick.
You want me to play that again?
No, no, please don't. So, it's been a little while since last episode. Last episode was what? June 5th? Oh, okay.
It was
So
a
it's
while.
been a month. All right, not
Yeah.
that bad. And because you were gone, Bradley, right?
Hmm?
You were gone,
What do you mean?
like during the beginning of summer. You were gone.
No.
No, you've been here the entire time.
I was here the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Then
Then why did I wait a few weeks to ask if you want to play Minecraft?
yes.
I don't know, I was bored.
Okay. So you weren't gone. We just haven't been doing the podcast.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. There goes my excuse. So Bradley, let's pretend like you were gone. What have you been doing the past couple of weeks since with your summer break?
A lot of wrestling. It's been fun.
Nice. Did you do any
Not
like
much.
competitions or anything?
I went to a few scrimmages. They were fun.
Nice. We've been playing FTB interactions the past like week or so, and
That's the shit. That's that
yeah,
good shit.
it's pretty good. Except like Bradley's on it all the time and he's doing stuff, and I'm like, I can't be on it all the time. I've got stuff to do.
Like what?
I've got a job to work, and I've got live streaming to do.
See, yeah, you have your live stream, but it's
Yeah,
like, oh my god,
because I have fun live streaming.
yeah,
Especially
but
I've no
but
continue.
I don't have fun live streaming with you because I don't live stream with you because you don't let me because you're mean.
I've I've never said that you can't live stream with me.
Yes, you have
When?
non-verbally.
Non-verbally. I
You've
always feel like
implied
you
it.
wouldn't be the type of person who'd want to live stream.
I was sitting there bugging you in chat the other day,
Yeah, you were
Doug.
bugging me in chat. You never been like, "Hey, can I jump on?" or something like that.
Well, you're also playing that client side, so I couldn't have jumped on.
Oh. Well, I mean, once this unnamed Minecraft series starts coming to an end, I'd like to do some Pixelmon, and you could join in on that.
Oh shit, yeah, I will do Pixelmon because I know Pixelmon like the back of my hand.
Same here.
Pixelmon's shit.
It was great. I remember back like a couple years ago, I played Pixelmon. Ah, but yeah, I've been live streaming. Check it out. Every day, 1 to 3 Pacific time. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Check
Did you
it
just
out.
plug your stream?
Of course I did. Twitch.tv/TheRealAwesomeGamer51. Link in the description.
Did you just double plug your stream?
No, that's just more plugging of the stream.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of more things, there's more merch. There's the t-shirt and the jackets. The
I
big,
saw those.
yeah. So those exist. And let me tell you, how let's guess how many products we've sold so far. You'll be surprised.
One.
No, 0. So,
Ah,
buy that merch. Link in the description. Boom, more plugging.
yeah.
So, I might be a little late on this, but because I thought about this a little while back, but there was, I don't know when it was, a couple weeks ago maybe. I don't know. I'm going off, but there's in a PewDiePie video in the beginning, he promoted this app called Nimsies, right? And for those of you that don't know, Nimsies is basically like a pseudo social media. It's like a social media where you can like post pictures and stuff, but there's also like you get like points for just existing, right? And you get more points for doing stuff like watching ads, and eventually you'll be able to use these points to like listen to music and buy goods.
I
There's
don't
like
like that.
and there's like temples that you can like join a part of and like increase your daily income of, I don't even know what they're called. And I saw that and I'm immediately like, uh that does not sound like a good idea. That sounds like there was a Black Mirror episode about that.
I forgot you watch Black Mirror, don't you?
I don't know. I don't watch Black Mirror. I've thought
Oh,
about it, but
I know, Andre.
I feel
Apparently, it's
like
really good.
there's been a Black Mirror episode about it just because of that sort of thing where it's just like, and there's different levels of like existence, I guess you could say, where you start out as just a user, right? And then you have to have a certain amount of people that verify you, then you become human, and then more people verify you, and then you like get further. I'm still a user, so I decided to check it out just because I wanted to know more about this to see like, is it that bad? I had to do some investigative journalism. Is it that bad? Is it not? Is it okay? And my username's dig_Doug, no capitalization. If you want to hit me up, I'll link in the description. Verify me, please. But I don't know. It doesn't. I thought when I first saw it, I'm like, oh god, the most subscribed to individual on YouTube is promoting an app where everyone joins and gets points for existing, and the more stuff they do, the more points they get, and this cannot be good. But I mean, nothing's really come of it. Like I downloaded it at the time, and I like touched it a couple of times, but like I haven't been using it. It's not really my thing.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Just the nature of it, I don't like.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. It's the. I mean, it hasn't been popular yet, but it's just like the whole idea of like getting points for existing. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't.
Whack.
Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me. And if I can find it, I'll link to the video where he promoted it, because I have to say that I'm going to link to it, so I remember to link to it, or else I won't. But I'm gonna link to it. I don't. So far, nothing's bad has come of it, and I'm sure me promoting it is only doing good things. But yeah, I don't. There's not that much. It's like you can post pictures, and that's really it. And of course, like it's all proximity based, so a lot of the people on here I know or know of, and it's all like the like popular kids that are on it, and they're all like super verified and stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. All right, so I wanted to add a bit of a footnote to this topic right now, and what we're gonna do basically is Bradley, you and I, we're gonna watch the first one, which is the Nimsies advertisement themselves. We're gonna watch it. We're not gonna say anything, and then afterwards we're gonna give our comments, and then we're gonna do the same for PewDiePie's video where he advertised it. And it might feel a little rushed because I have to stream in like 30 minutes, but we'll give it a shot.
Hello, my name is Mark. I am 22, and I am wasted. I am an actual contemporary slave. They've sold my brain to the brands. They've put the price tags on my fingertips, my ears, my eyes. That's it for me. I'm done. Now you can find me in another space. It's artificial, but it is true. It's abstract, but it is kind. I profit from me just being alive. My only property, my body, produces value. The Nim is so much more than nothing. It is a precious thing which I possess without any obligations. It's mine. I use it how I want. You know, I'll introduce myself once more. Hello, my name is Mark. I am 22. I am an angel. Follow me.
All right, we just watched the first one called "What is Nimsies Mark the Angel," and basically the angle that it's going at is as how like your time and your value has already been sold to corporations, and the app is more about taking your own life into your own hands and generating value on your own rather than giving it to other people.
You've played Watch Dogs, right?
Yeah.
Why did that seem like that's the main villain in a Watch Dogs game? Like this is their corporation.
I don't know. But that one, it kind of makes sense. I see what they were going for. And,
It
how,
it seemed like that's how they would like. It seemed like that's like a CTOS thing, like they have in the Watch Dogs games.
yeah. But this
Like
one,
that's it. The way it was made is it makes it feel like it's super sketch and like evil shadow corporation kind of thing.
but I'll play some clips. But basically, the main message is how he's taking his own life into his own hands and generating value from his own time by his own volition without, like, not giving it to other corporations, which it seems like you're trying to advertise something that's bad as a good thing. Now, let's play the one that PewDiePie did.
Before this video begins, I have an important announcement. You want to hear about this. There's a new app called Nimses, where if you download it, your life will become a social media game. As soon as you register, every single minute of your life will be quantified into NIM, a currency. And this is collected from since you register, not just how much you use your phone or what you spend in the app. So the more NIMs you have, the more powerful and influence you get. Now just imagine for a second if everyone downloaded this app. It's a pretty insane concept. I don't think I heard about any idea anywhere like this, except in sci-fi scenarios. Nimses users could potentially buy real things in the future using their Nims, like your next Tesla or your next represent.com/PewDiePie merch collection. There are social roles within the app, such as user and icon. You get your Nims, you own them, and then you save them, and everyone sees how many Nims you have. So you can be a regular user, or you can actually try and grow your influence and reach the unreachable icon status. Just imagine if everyone was using this. I think it's a pretty insane idea, and I'm really curious to see how it's gonna work out. So sign up, follow me there, invite your friends as well, because then you get more Nims. The idea is to turning human life into a source of financial capital. I'm really curious about this.
All right, so
That was whack.
yeah, that was PewDiePie's. But I think the line that stuck out to me is like, he said something about turning human life into value or into currency, which that's what it is. But it doesn't have that quote like that. Oh, this is a positive spin that the actual advertisement does. This is just kind of like straight what it is. And later on, like another, he sort of says that it was like, oh, it's a social experiment, right, to see what would happen. But this isn't just a social experiment. This is like actually
Something that's probably gonna get shut down rather soon.
yeah. And I think what I find funny is that
World governments.
he references like, oh, this sounds like a sci-fi thing, and he shows a picture of Black Mirror, which is like, if you're advertising something, it's like, oh yeah, it's just like Black Mirror. That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of what you want it to be like. Nope, just it's kind of weird, but you know, referral code down in the description. You can add me, verify me. I just wanted to add this little bit in here to like react to the videos and just add a bit more. Now on to the rest of the podcast. All right, so on to the next topic. Let's talk about children.
What?
And it's not what you think, like, oh, do you want to have children? It's not that kind of stuff. It's so I live in a neighborhood with a lot of kids, right?
Okay.
It's right next to an elementary school. It's right across from the lake. It's a middle class area, right? There's lots of kids there, lots of young kids, right? Younger than me, so like I'm not really friends with anyone. I'll see them and I'll be like, oh, hey, you're my brother's friend. And I mean, you have groups where it's like the good kids that like play nicely and stuff. Then you have like the slightly older ones that do like skateboarding and stuff, and they kind of get in a little bit more trouble, but not that much.
Yeah.
But recently it's kind of gone a bit further. My brother's been getting in trouble for associating with some kids that are doing stuff like ding dong ditching and
Wait,
like,
ding dong ditching gets you in trouble nowadays?
yes, apparently it does. So basically what happened is my brother was in a group one kid ding dong ditched a neighbor, and then he got super upset and went talking to all the parents, and like I wasn't there for it, but it sounds like he was like talking to them, be like, your child shouldn't be doing this, and
Did the parents ask, did you do this when you were a kid?
no,
They should have.
yeah, but I'm assuming, well, because he's like a good neighbor, right? We all know each other and stuff, and so we're just like, yeah, we'll tell him not to do that and stuff. It's kind of that you don't like fight with your neighbors. You're just like, all right, yeah, I'll tell my child not to do that. It's that kind of neighborhood.
But if it's that kind of like dumb thing, then yes, you would fight them about it. Like, no, that's dumb.
Well, you might do it in private, but not like in public or right to his face.
Why?
It's just not a neighborly thing to do, right? You don't like you might live in a different neighborhood, but in our neighborhood, like we're all like friends with each other, and we wouldn't be like, no, you can't say that about my child. Like, that's not the type of people that live here.
No, no, but what I'm saying is if it's something as harmless as that, I don't know why he'd be making a big deal out of it when he probably did it when he was a kid.
I don't know. Maybe he grew up differently and he didn't do it, but that's besides the point. I'm just giving you a little context so that there's some kids that are good, some kids are bad, more kids are getting bad, and they're like messing around, skateboarding around, ding dong ditching, doing that, getting in trouble, like kids do. But
Being kids, yeah.
yeah, but the next step that's going is there was a I don't know how exactly it is, but like the neighborhood, some sort of group. I don't know exactly how the politics works because I'm not involved in it, but there was like something proposed to ban the kids from being outside.
What?
Yeah, and at first, cause let me tell my side of the story. So I drive a lot in the neighborhood, and like
Doug,
there's
I
like
think you need to move.
no, that's not the issue. But I drive in the neighborhood, and there's a lot of kids that go around, and some of them like are just in the road, and it's kind of annoying. But I deal with it. But at first, when I heard this, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Don't get the kids on the street. Because like a majority of kids don't need to play on the street. Like they have computers, they have phones, they can all talk to each other and just play video games.
No, but here's the thing, Doug. Exercise is key to kids and going outside and playing.
We'll see. Yeah, that's the first issue. But
How often were you inside playing when you were like 6?
Not that often. But
Exactly.
let me say something here.
So why are you being a boring adult and saying they need to be inside?
That I'm about to explain that if you just let me explain.
No, I'm not going to let you explain because this is dumb in the first place.
All right, so their argument was that there's literally a park right across the street that they can go play if they want to play, right? There's a
Well,
whole
yeah,
like,
but there's a bunch of stuff you can't do at the park because, like, you can't play kickball there because
yeah, you
some
can.
parents-
It's right next to like baseball
No, because
courts.
because some parents are gonna be like, "Oh no, you're gonna hit my kid in the face with your kickball."
Well, then they couldn't play kickball anyway. If the parents were upset about it, right? If
the parents don't want to go to the park with them, then they have to
They
stay
don't-
close to home. They can go out in the street in front of the house where the parents can watch them.
it's literally
from
right
the
across the
house.
street, Bradley. And most of these kids are like late elementary school, early middle school. So they all can like go across the street and play at the park and stuff, or like they could like break into the school and play there in the playground. And
See, here's the thing. Playgrounds, yeah, they're great, but sometimes they're just a waste of space because there's a good chunk of people who don't use them.
well, people don't use them, but I still think that playgrounds are like, 'cause, like
2 or 3 years ago when you were first going into middle school, would you still want to go play on the playground in your summer?
no.
Okay, but would you want to be playing video games or would you want to be outside, like shooting hoops with your friends at your basketball court that's on the side of the road?
Video games, definitely.
I said not including video games.
Not including video games?
Yeah. Would you want to go to the park and just like sit there, or would you want to just hang out by your house, play basketball, go inside, get a snack, just so it's easier?
Well, yeah, it would have been easier, but I think at the time when I would have been playing outside, I would have been fine going to the park just to play.
But yeah, you would have been fine at the playground. Is my point.
Yeah, I would have been fine because the park's
because you were at a playground age.
yeah. Well, by the time I left the playground age, I left the going outside age. Right? Playing in the playground and playing outside were kind of like at the same age level. And once you stop playing outside, you stop wanting to go to the playground.
Okay.
So I at first when I first heard of it, I'm like, that's a great idea. Kids like don't put the kids on the street. They'll get in the way. They'll get hurt. They can go to the park. But then the more I thought about it, the more I realized this wouldn't work because
You
how
couldn't
it,
enforce it.
yeah, exactly. How could they enforce it? Either they're gonna do absolutely nothing about it, right? Or they're gonna send officers here to like monitor the streets. And let's go with that first scenario. So let's say they don't enforce it, right? You're gonna have the young children, the kids
Nothing
that
would happen.
well,
If they don't enforce it, nothing happens.
not exactly. I
No,
think
there is zero change if they don't enforce it.
well, I think some people would like the people that would abide by these laws are not the problem, right? The parents who would be like, "Oh, you can't play outside. Don't play outside then." Are the kids that wouldn't do anything wrong. The kids that would break these rules and go outside are the kids that are the issue. So you'd be doing the opposite effect. Instead of getting the bad kids off the street, you would make only the bad kids on the street.
See, my thing with it is there's things like that that are just like that's a dumb idea in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, did I ever tell you about the thing how there's this theory around ADHD and ADD
No.
on how it's a natural adaptation to being kept of children being kept indoors all the time
Huh. I have not heard of
because that's like it's a natural adaptation to fight obesity
that. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying.
because it gets them moving more to try and burn off the extra food that they're eating. And people see that as a bad thing, where it's just something that should be a thing normally.
Mm-hmm. Have there been studies that have like proven that,
I
or is
don't.
that just a
Not
theory?
in studies. I just thought heard something about a theory on Hello Internet actually on one of those episodes.
Ah, nice. I think that is definitely possible. There needs to be studies into like ADHD kids and are they inside?
But it's also such an like one of my friends has ADHD and he was telling me about how it's really just comes from an inability to focus is when you get prescribed with having ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you're a 5-year-old. It's like that's just something a 5-year-old does.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you haven't been made to stay inside for 6 hours a day going to school and doing stuff you don't necessarily like.
Yeah, because I work with like 5 to 6 year olds in my job, and like I can tell you, most of them are like crazy, right? You have a couple that'll like listen to you and stand there still, but most of them, when they're not doing something, they're gonna do something, whether it just be sit down or like run around or jump on stuff, and
Yeah.
that's just the way kids are. But
That's the thing that I don't get about trying to keep them either indoors or at like a park, because a lot of say your parents are your mom's cooking dinner and your dad's out at work,
mm-hmm,
right? And you want to go outside and play. Your mom
right,
says you can't go to the park; it's too far away. I won't be able to see you.
mm-hmm.
What do you do then, if you still want to play outside?
Well, then you'd go out onto the street and play.
Exactly. So it's in that situation, it's not like a need be thing for like kids being out on the street. It's not like they want to be on the street. It's like it's necessary for them to be on the street for them to play outside.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I'm gonna give you a counter argument. So in this day and age, right? That I know that's a cliche to say, but in this day and age, most kids like have a smartphone where they can like text or call their parents at like a super young age, right? Maybe not like toddlers, right? They're not having phones, but like elementary school, like at least halfway through, most of the kids are gonna have phones to where they can call their parents.
Does your brother have a phone?
He does well. He has a phone, but he does not have like he doesn't have the ability to like text or call or anything.
So it's not a phone.
Okay, sure. It's not a phone. It's a
It's
smart
a
device.
glorified iTouch.
It's the opposite of a Well, no, it's a glorified yeah. It's a dumbed down iPad. That's what I was thinking
Okay.
of.
So it's like a tablet.
But it's not. It's phone shaped.
So it's a glorified iTouch.
No, it's a dumbed down tablet. Anyways, that's besides the point. But most,
No, but my point is your brother is elementary school age, right?
yeah, he's going into middle school.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a phone yet. So
Okay.
your point that you're trying to make with most kids having it is like close and invalid because you don't have experience with a kid that age having it. Like I had an iTouch all the way. I didn't get an actual phone until I think 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah,
Until like
same here.
halfway through middle school on my birthday,
Mhm.
but like it wasn't like this major thing that everyone has it.
Yeah. But I'm saying as we go along, more and more kids are going to have it. And there's going to be at least one
But
kid in a single
but
group that's going to be able to, like, call for
but
help if something
that's
happens.
just not right as a thing. Is because okay, fine. Let's put this in perspective. When you have if you have a kid and that kid gets to how old are you gonna make that kid? How old are at how what age are you gonna give your kid a phone?
Ideally, I'd give them a phone when they go into middle school. But,
Yeah, because that's when that's when they will start yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. But, however,
But you're saying this is applying to all like elementary school kids.
I do think that it is possible that in the future, right, it's going to become such a necessity that I'm going to have to give my child a phone earlier than middle school. And
How?
then
How is it gonna be a necessity?
I don't know because I've never lived in a world where it was a necessity, and I can't. But there's probably some reason like, oh, like they're ostracized for it, or they're um they need it to contact me, or like, oh, it's just a requirement. I could definitely see there being some sort of reason why an elementary schooler would need a phone in the future, and that it's definitely a possibility. Not saying it's a good possibility, but it is a possibility.
I disagree, but okay.
What part?
On how elementary schoolers are gonna need phones. Like absolutely need phones, need phones.
Well, maybe not need phones, but like there's gonna be pretty much a necessity. Like you could get by without one, but it would be kind of difficult, sort of thing. And especially as we're getting like, as schools are getting more and more digital, right? Kids are gonna need more like personal devices to do all their work.
No,
Which
because as schools get more digital, the schools start getting more digital devices for the
do
students.
they have the budget for it though?
Well, do they have the budget to get a train for our school? No, but they have it anyways.
They have a train for our school? Oh, you mean like the little choo-choo train that rides around
Yeah.
sometimes? Oh yeah, good point. The school is not spending their budget wisely, as most schools do. But I do think there is going to be a point where kids are going to need to be interconnected like with their like because kids when they're starting out like they'll be watching YouTube on like a tablet, right? They're connected with that device.
I don't
And
know how you're gonna raise your kid, but okay.
no, I'm not saying this
I,
is how I'm going to raise my kid. I'm saying this is how kids are raised. They're like from a young age they're put a tablet in front of them with YouTube on it. That's like parents are like I need a break.
that's how
Here's what
bad
it is.
parents do it, Doug.
No, that's how most parents do it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. I work with children, Bradley. I know how parents work. That most parents nowadays when they're bored or tired, like I'm not saying that that's their only entertainment, right? They still go out with their kids and stuff, but when they're bored or tired or they just need a break, they'll be like, "Here's the tablet, here's YouTube, go. I just need to relax."
But that's the pansy's way out. You can relax when the kid's asleep.
When does the child sleep, Bradley?
The
The
child
child
sleeps
does
at
not
night.
sleep.
The child sleeps at night.
I don't know how you think children work, but children do not sleep. Or they do not want to sleep.
Okay, yeah. So they don't want to sleep. Then they'll fall asleep eventually.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, yes. And by that point, you're so tired that you sleep. You don't have any time on your own to like let's say you need to take an important work call, right? You're at home with your child and like, "Oh shoot, I need to take a work call. What am I going to do with my child? Here's a tablet, here's YouTube. I'm going to take this work call for 30 minutes."
Oh.
Are you going to be like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm watching my child."
I'd take it outside. I'd step outside and close the door.
Well, then what would the child do? What would you do with the child?
The child's fine just to sit around inside playing with toys or whatever. Doesn't need to
Yeah.
be on YouTube.
But you were just saying how children kept inside, if they get bored, they'll do stuff, right? The
Yeah,
child.
yes. But here's the thing. I didn't like if I was playing video games, I was there with my mom sitting right next to me.
You were?
Yes. I
I
wasn't
was.
playing video games alone all the time.
I was not. I was playing video games alone.
I'd be sitting there, I'd be playing Wizard 101 and my mom would be on her computer like 2 steps over and we'd be playing together.
Oh. I did not
Because
have
my mom
that.
used it as a bonding experience.
Oh. Well, see, both of my
Like
parents worked, so.
like we played through Lego Batman together. That was fun.
Oh. But I think that.
Because like if I was alone, I'd be sitting there playing with like Legos or something
Yes.
with a sibling because I had siblings, but some
Yes.
don't have siblings, but it's good to have siblings because you learn to share.
I think, yeah, having siblings is good. I have a sibling. I think that if a child is not exposed to YouTube by their parents, they're going to get exposed to YouTube by another child. Right? You can imagine this perfect world where all parents are good and they
No.
won't
But
they
when
won't
I know that that's fine. But I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, if my kid's at home and I'm trying to do something, I'll have my kid play with something real.
Mhm.
So they haven't like to give them more physical skills and develop their motor skills.
Yeah. But I'll
Like
say
playing with Lego would increase their dexterity and like creativity because like, hey, here's a box of Lego. You can do literally whatever you want. Go ahead.
yeah, that sounds good. But I'll tell you that if I was a child, right, at this time, and I had a choice between playing with Legos or just watching a YouTube video, I would probably watch a YouTube video.
I'd watch Legos all the time. I'd play with Legos.
You could watch people playing with Legos on YouTube.
That's no fun because if you have Lego, then you could play with Lego.
Listen, Bradley, you're saying this now like that you wouldn't have fun, but a child doesn't have that kind of
No,
capability.
but I'm saying how I was when I was a kid. I'd be sitting there in my room playing with toys, or I'd be playing with toys in the playroom.
Well, that's because you didn't grow up with like everyone watching
I
YouTube.
did is the thing.
You didn't, Bradley. Would you?
YouTube was perfectly fine when we were like old enough to be able to understand what YouTube was.
When you were old enough to be to be able to understand what it was, right? Was that at the time that we're talking about now?
That's when we were like 6 or 7.
No, YouTube has when we were like 6 or 7, YouTube was like just starting out. It was
Yeah,
like
but
I think
but
2
it
years
was
in or something.
big when it first started out.
Big for like adults and teenagers. There weren't a lot of kids channels. There were like a couple. Nowadays, there's an entire app dedicated to children on YouTube. So there's definitely more children content on YouTube, and parents are more and more seeing it as a way to entertain their children. It's like putting on a movie, essentially. Like if your child's like having a fuss or something, before you just put on a movie on the TV and they'd sit there and watch that. Now instead they're watching YouTube.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that even if we don't live in a perfect world where every parent's gonna be good and be like, oh, I'm never gonna show my child YouTube. I'll have them play with physical stuff. But eventually, like, being a parent breaks you down to the point where you have no choice. It's just like, listen, I've slept for maybe 4 hours this week, and I just need to relax. I'm just gonna show him this YouTube
You realize
video.
that by the time your kid's old enough to like do normal stuff on like watching YouTube, they're gonna be like have normal bedtimes, right? You're not gonna like what my brain's thinking you're saying is when the kid's old enough is at the age where they can't like find a way to entertain themselves and you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're thinking like maybe the first year is when they don't sleep properly, like sleep on normal times.
Okay, yes, I will agree
The
that.
first year or 2.
But let's say we start.
But you're not gonna put a 2-year-old in front of YouTube and say,
No.
"Have fun, explore."
No, you wouldn't do that. I'm talking more like toddlers, like 3, 4, maybe 5.
Okay, I have experience with a child that age. Yes.
You have a child that age?
No, I have experience with a child that age because it's our family friend's kid.
Yes, I have
Yes.
cousins that age. But um, but so let's say at that age, so they have they have a bedtime, right? They go to bed at 8, they wake up at 7,
Yeah.
right? Normal child bedtime. Maybe they go to bed at 9, wake up at that. So, but it's not just oh, your child goes to sleep, now you can rest. Because you not only have your child to worry about, but you have a job, right? And while it'd be great is if you have just a 9 to 5 and then after that you're done, but that's not the case. Lots of the time, adults have homework and projects to do after work that they need to get done, and which can take multiple hours. So it's all fine and dandy for the child to go to sleep, but you still have work to do, and you have less time than you would normally have, like, because you just get home at, like, let's say 6, and then you'd have like 4 hours to do your homework, and then you'd go to bed. But now they'd have 2 of those hours are spent taking care of their child and keeping them entertained so they don't destroy the house.
I don't think a kid could destroy a house.
I've seen kids, they could destroy a house.
See, I'm trying to think on what I would do in that situation, but me in that situation, it wouldn't be a 1-person job.
Yeah.
It would be a 2-person job.
Mm-hmm.
And would you think both parents have jobs that require homework?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, from what I've heard from my parents, they both work, right? They make an amount of money, enough to afford the house. But when, like, my house, that most Southern California houses are ridiculously expensive.
Yes, so don't live in Southern California.
Yeah.
It's problem solved.
Fortunately, my parents bought it back when housing was relatively cheap. And they've told me that their mortgage on the house, which they pay, is about the same or maybe even cheaper than the rent of a studio apartment. So they're 2 parents, both working jobs, full-time jobs, paying for a mortgage on a house that would be the same price as an apartment, a studio apartment. So just getting a studio apartment would require 2 full-time jobs to pay. Maybe 1 if you make a well enough salary.
That's in Southern California.
In Southern California, yes.
Okay.
So, and including like this neighborhood too, because this is where the whole the banning children from playing on the street came from. If both parents are working a full-time job, they're probably both gonna have homework, right? And you still have to have a parent who has to cook the food, and they've got to like wash the dishes and do the laundry, and like clean the house when that's required. And so they're gonna have the time spent taking care of the child till it goes to bed. Then they're gonna they can take turns on it, but you're still gonna have at some point 1 parent cleaning or washing dishes, and the other one's taking care of the child, and that's gonna take up a lot of time. And while it would be ideal to just have a parent taking care of the child, the other one like cleaning or washing or cooking or whatever, a lot of the times parents are just gonna be like, I'm just gonna play this video. It'll be like 15 minutes. I'll just take a break, because not only are they working a full-time job, but taking care of a child is also a full-time job. Like, you don't get paid for it, but it's the effort of a full-time job, and you just working 2 full-time jobs essentially. You're gonna want to take a break. And I think, well, you might want to be so high and mighty to be like, oh, I'll give them Legos, right? Not all children are gonna like Legos. Some children are gonna get bored of it, and it's just easy to just show them YouTube, because it's universal. There's always something on YouTube that a child will enjoy, and it's easy.
So, my situation that I had when I was growing up is So you equated YouTube to putting on a movie, correct?
Yes, essentially.
Okay, I had a bunch of favorite movies that I would watch nonstop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get to do that all the time
Right.
because when we were growing up, when we were little, and before the giant like real estate market fiasco,
Yes.
before that's when we would get to the age where we wouldn't really need to be taken care of anymore. Is when that occurred.
I wouldn't say that we would need to be taken care of.
Or okay, we wouldn't need to be like watched consistently. We could have been left
Okay.
on our own with the parents in the house for a while.
Yes.
Like we'd go to school, we'd come home, we'd do homework, we'd do all that.
Yeah.
Because we're like second graders or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the housing got super expensive. Is when the real estate market went kaput.
Just like
Correct?
that. Yes.
Yeah, I dropped a tin thing.
That's sound effects for going kaput.
Yeah.
Right.
So where we were, I mean, but this really comes down to just don't live in Southern California if it's super expensive.
Yes.
Or it's
True.
like don't have kids in Southern California. You can have kids somewhere else.
Yeah.
But
Or just
it's-
don't live in Southern
it's-
California.
Yeah, it's not very welcoming to people.
Yeah.
It's nice weather and all, but it's like you're a couple, you're financially stable, you come live in California, but you move somewhere else to raise a family
Go to Colorado.
because it gets too expensive here. Like
Yeah.
that's really what in my mind it boils down to is don't have
Mhm.
kids in Southern California.
Yes.
But if you need to, it's like you get to the point where like for the way it was for me is when I was born, both my parents had full-time jobs.
Yeah. Same here.
It only came to when my sisters were born, or like shortly thereafter I was born, that my mom had to quit her job to stay at home and take care of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because my dad was in a position where he could financially support the family.
Yeah.
When the real estate thing crashed and houses got a lot more expensive to pay for, that's when my mom had to start getting another job,
Uh-huh.
which she has now, but it's not like it's like pseudo full time.
Yeah.
She works at schools in an office,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like that's her thing.
Yeah.
But it's not like massively detrimental being in that situation, or at least it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, the reason my parents did that is because my dad was in a more financially stable position than my mom was.
Yeah.
So my mom could afford to stay home and keep an eye on me and my sisters.
Yes.
Because there's 3 of us, mind you.
Yeah.
But I was told that I was a pretty like tame kid. But like it just depends if you get lucky with a tame
Mhm.
kid.
Yeah. I was a tame kid as well. But so
And like I didn't have much experience with a computer until I was, I'd say, kindergarten age. Because my mom would be like, "Go play with your toys. You have plenty of those."
mm-hmm.
Which I mean makes sense to me. Because I did, and I was like, I'd be happy staying inside and playing with my toys if I wanted to play with some, if I wanted to play.
Yeah.
But like my point is why would YouTube come across as a better alternative to regular toys? Because they essentially serve the same purpose, but one is much more mentally healthy.
Yeah, well, I think it. I mean,
And if I wanted to watch a movie, my mom would throw on a movie. Like
yeah,
that's the thing. Like she'd throw on a movie, she'd go into the office and work.
and I think that's where it is. It's the want. It's not like if a child wanted to play Legos all the time, then the parent would just be like, okay, go play with your Legos. Easy as that. But I think most kids don't want to play with their Legos. They just want to like watch movies back then, or now watch YouTube.
No, but my thing with it is from my social experience, it's really uncommon to find a parent who doesn't their child like wants to watch YouTube. That's always it's there as an excuse for them to do other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's never necessarily the kid, "Oh, I want to watch YouTube." It's always the kid being just loud and the parents like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with this because whatever.
Yeah. Well, then maybe what we're getting to is that it's not about the child, it's about the
The
parenting.
parent. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to get this whole time. Is how it's not necessarily the child's issue to deal with. It's the parents.
Mm-hmm. And not everyone's like qualified to be a parent, right? You don't need a license to have a child, right? You
Yeah.
have a child and then it's there.
And
Yeah.
then that's how you end up with usually that's how you would end up with the naughtier children is ones
Yeah.
whose parents weren't necessarily perfectly 100% qualified to be comfortable raising a child.
Mm-hmm. And well, I don't think anyone thinks that they're that like
Not fit to raise a child, but
I don't think
they
that
find out soonly thereafter.
no, I don't think that anyone thinks that they're fit to raise a child. I think it's always like, oh, am I going to be a good parent? And then they find out um, later on.
Yeah.
But I think that it's, I mean, not bashing any bad parents. Like, I understand, like, if there's stuff that gets in the way and stuff. But it's the children that aren't raised as well that.
It's the parents who are using things like YouTube as an excuse for them to like sit there and do other stuff
Mm-hmm.
that's like not work related. That's the one who I have the gripes with.
Yeah, and then those children go on to, like, I guess, sort of become addicted to YouTube, where they just all they want to do is just watch YouTube,
Yeah.
and then they'll show YouTube to their friends, and then they'll want to watch YouTube, and then it just becomes this whole sort of almost like a virus spreading of
You
just
mean like
wanting to watch
humanity?
YouTube. Yes, humanity is a virus.
And the Matrix was there to stop it.
Yes. But I think that, like, alright, first of all, you shouldn't be, if you can, try not to show YouTube to your child at a young age. But I think eventually people are gonna evolve I say evolve like in quotes, like not actual evolution, but like change. Society's gonna change to where YouTube's gonna become necessary in everyone's life. Like there's so much stuff on YouTube that's just like
I don't know. I think
entertainment or
YouTube's on its
how-to.
way out
Maybe
because they don't support their creators well enough.
yeah, maybe YouTube itself is going out, but there's always gonna, even if YouTube itself dies, there's always gonna be another company that's gonna come in and fill that void. Because the only reason, in my opinion, the only reason that YouTube still exists is because there's nothing else to fill that void, right? There's a little hole that's filled with internet streaming content that's curated by people that you can relate to and you can enjoy. And right now, it's only being filled by YouTube. So if you take out that YouTube, it's empty, and you're going to need to fill it with something. But all you can fill it with is YouTube. So until there's another service that can fill that void as well, it's going to be an issue. And I don't know if any other company can. Because the thing about YouTube is that it's owned by Google, which is like a multi-million-dollar company, maybe even a billion-dollar company, I don't know, that can provide money for all the servers to just host all these videos. And I think Vimeo tried to become that YouTube competitor, but they had to like shut it down because they didn't have enough money to support the servers. And so really it's that monetary backing that they need to have another YouTube competitor.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any other company, like, unless Apple or Amazon wanted to bring out their own version of YouTube, I don't see a
Disney.
startup company, or Disney. I don't see like a startup company making a YouTube competitor, especially not at the level that it is.
I can see Disney making one.
Yeah, but is Disney gonna just turn into another YouTube where it's restricting what its creators can put on there, because everything that gets posted to Disney's hypothetical streaming service is going to be tied to Disney, right? It's going to be like almost a representation of Disney. And Disney, being the mega $1 million corporation that it is, doesn't want to tarnish its reputation. And it's going to turn into basically a Disney Channel where everything there is going to be super clean and friendly, even more than YouTube is.
Yeah.
I think while Disney could, the best company to create a competitor to YouTube would probably be Facebook. I think Facebook is while I hate to say it, Facebook is our best chance at creating a YouTube competitor.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Because they're pretty much a competitor, just not as large scale. Because you can post videos to Facebook, and you
Well,
can.
yeah, but like, it's the kind of thing where it's like, if it's the thing that nobody uses, I wouldn't call it counted as a competitor.
Yeah, they're trying to be a competitor, but nobody uses it. And even if let's say a content creator was gonna go and use Facebook, right? They wouldn't just post all their videos to Facebook. They'd go like Facebook and YouTube, right? Or they'd try to dip in as many places as possible.
Uh-huh.
And until companies start restricting, you can like forcing people into contracts saying you can only post on this site, YouTube's still going to be popular no matter what.
I mean, but here's the thing, if YouTube loses all of its creators because they're like, I'd rather do something that, if I'm doing this as a full-time job, I'd rather do something that could, support as a full-time job.
Yeah, but YouTube would have to make some really big mistake to lose all of its creators.
But it's starting to lose a lot, is the thing.
It is, but it's starting to lose them. But you're still going to have creators that are still on this platform. Like, you have massively successful YouTubers. Like, you have the Logan Pauls or the Jake Pauls. You have, like, the Guava Juices, or even, like, the little toy channels, or, like, the Spider-Man and Elsa stuff. Like, that's gonna stay on here because that's what's monetized. And YouTube might turn into, like, this child-only service where the only people that are sticking around are the people that are child-friendly, which is feeding into the problem that we have where they're just gonna show it to their child.
Yeah.
So
I say we purge the internet.
Honestly, that might be the only solution.
Just do a restart. Just
shred the internet down to its last atom and start a new one.
What if? How about this? Here's a thing. What if we get a new plague?
A new plague, yeah. Kill
it's
a bunch
necessary.
of people.
We're like 10 years overdue.
Yeah. Well, that's just because we're too good. We're too good for a plague.
No,
but
we're not.
I think, like, it's hard. Like, hindsight is 20/20, of course, and it's hard to predict all the stuff that'll happen when you created a YouTube. But I think we've started something that the only end is negative, right? We're going on a path where there's one end, and it's not a good one. And the only way to get off that path is to bomb it, right? You gotta. Yeah. It's gonna take something extreme to get us off this path. Cause.
Do you mind checking your Instagram DMs real quick?
Okay, why?
Just check it.
All right. Is this relevant to the topic at hand?
Very.
Very. Okay. Yeah. Is it the person eating the corn dog?
Maybe.
How is that relevant?
It's very relevant.
It's not relevant at all.
It's extremely relevant.
You interrupted my speech just to put me on Instagram just to see a guy eating a corn dog. And it's not like a corn dog. It's a corn on the cob inside of a hot dog bun with ketchup and mustard on it. You interrupted our argument to send me to Instagram to look at a guy eating a pun. But we've gone on a massive tangent, and this is great because this is what I wanted. And back back to our original statement. I think that
You know, we've been talking about this for over an hour now.
I know that was the point. That's what I wanted to happen. And a topic that we disagree on so passionately that we spend so much time arguing on it, and that's entertaining. It's entertainment.